Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. September 9, 2019, the Pay Me Now and Pay Me Later edition. First up, a story from the Wall Street Journal, which is our lead story about restitution battle throws the 3-year Och-Ziff settlement into limbo. The hedge fund has asked a federal judge to reconsider a ruling that gave victims to its fraud and corruption status in the former Congolese mining venture who say they are owed up to $1.8 billion in restitution. A group of investors in that mining operation had brought forward a claim against Och-Ziff for their widespread bribery and corruption in Africa. The settlement, or rather the decision by the court, threw into question the terms of the $200 million and another $200 million criminal settlement, Och-Ziff, and of course other $170 million, which totaled about $400 million that Och-Ziff paid 3 years ago. Former owners of the Canadian mining company Africa Resources argued they are entitled to much as $8.1 billion in restitution, which represents the value of shares in the Congolese mining operation had it been developed. However, their rights were stripped because of the bribery and corruption, or allegedly because of the bribery and corruption which Och-Ziff admitted to. So if businesses can start to utilize these types of techniques or strategies and tactics, it could go a long way towards the fight against bribery and corruption. Next up, from the Wall Street Journal, how each big tech company may be targeted by regulators. The article details how the regulators may be looking at each particular tech company, including Apple, Facebook, Amazon, and Google, in terms of an antitrust investigation. Certainly each company is different, and it makes sense that they would be targeted separately. But this article lays out the different strategies that the antitrust division might utilize. Very interesting. Every compliance practitioner needs to study this, particularly in light of the antitrust division's recent evaluation of antitrust compliance programs, which was released in July. Next, a story about the airline mechanic for American Airlines who'd been arrested and accused by federal authorities of tampering with navigation equipment on a plane shortly before it was scheduled to depart. Well, it turned out that the same mechanic had been previously terminated from Alaskan Airlines for making maintenance mistakes, and it points up the need for background due diligence or investigation of hiring of new employees. This would not seem like too much of a controversial topic, yet if you have an employee in a high-risk operation and a maintenance worker on an airline can certainly be considered high risk, you need to do a background due diligence along those high risks to see if there are any red flags in that risk area. So once again, another lesson of why due diligence is so important. And then finally, the California Consumer Privacy Act goes into effect January 1, 2020. And under this law, California residents will have the right to ask retailers, restaurants, airlines, banks, etc. about individual contact information they may hold, purchases, loyalty programs, and can ask that that information be deleted. So as a institution governed by this law, are you prepared for this? This has been one of the biggest issues in GDPR compliance, that individuals who want to have their data produced and or deleted can ask for the companies to do so. So if you are covered under this new California law, you need to be ready to go, because you better be sure that the California citizens will take advantage of it after the first of the year. Mike Volkoff and I are back for another episode of Why a Duck, where we take a deep dive into the Antitrust Division new corporate compliance program. Check it out.